Well, today's e-bike review mixes fun, functionality, and just a little bit of nostalgia because we've got the Viribus Tricycle here for grown-ups. But is it any good? Keep on watching our honest review to find out more. Now, I thought for this review, the best thing to do would be to show you how I think the average person should use and look at this e-bike. So I thought I'd go and take a quick trip to the store. There's one just a couple blocks away here. And let me tell you about this interesting, beautiful electric bike. Cool? Let's go for a ride. Now, a couple of things to note about this bike before I take it on a quick trip here for you. I had to look at the price and do a little bit of a double take because this bike retails for like 800 bucks right now. It's on sale for 800 bucks. I think it retails for 1,200. I mean, that's like, I don't know, a third of the price of the Rad Trike, which we also have reviewed. But it is missing a couple of features. For example, it does have a much smaller motor, 250 watts versus the Rad Trike, which has 750. It has a lower range, has less trip computers and stuff, but the Rad Trike doesn't have a whole lot either. But it's just beautiful. It looks great, doesn't it? But is it any good? Let's go take it for a spin. I'll tell you the pros, the cons, and a couple things to think about, and how I view this bike. Let's go to the grocery store. All right, let's try this again. This is the Viribus Tricycle. And it's unique, right? It looks kind of funny when you're riding it. I kind of feel like a little kid again. But it's got something my trike's never had, which is pedal assist. Well, not pedal assist, just throttle, actually. Which is actually a lot of fun. And there's a little something that is unique about this V-bike, besides the fact that it is a tricycle. But it's the fact that it comes in like the world's smallest box ever. And I was shocked that there was a tricycle in there, but you know, sure enough there was. I accidentally deleted my camera and I don't have my time lapse of me putting it together, but whoa, let's just say it was interesting. Now, this bike does have so many different things that you have to put on it, which I've never done on a bike before. And I know I'm sounding like I'm dissing this thing, but I promise you, yeah, we'll get to the positives. But one of the things, because I have to fix it real quick, is you have to put on your own hubcaps on here. I mean, these own little fenders, and this one's squeaking at me. And so I had to put that on there, and even came with a little bit of a bent part of it, but I was able to fix it, called a bike mechanic, and they came and fixed it, no problem whatsoever. But this bike is a little bit different than other electric bikes we've tested, but also different than the Rad Trike. Besides the fact it takes a little bit more time to get put together, there's a lot of similarities too. There is no gears on this bike. It is just a standard one gear, one speed bike. It either goes or doesn't. And I don't have the odometer, I don't have a speedometer to say how fast I'm going exactly, but I'm going probably, I don't know, maybe 10 miles an hour. Not going super fast, not going super slow. And see, the bike here is only got one speed gear, but that's the same as the Rad Trike too. It does have a couple of other pedal assisted level options. This just has one, well, actually has two. Take it or leave it. I like to take it. But this e-bike is super, just like it's like a chill version of a bike. And what I mean by that is that it's just super easy to ride, super good looking. And if you just want to go for like a little cruise and go to the grocery store like I'm going for here, like it's not that bad of a deal. If you got someone with mobility problems, and maybe you're not even sure they would like an electric bike, but they still want to get outside, enjoy like a beautiful day like today. Like for like 850 bucks right now is what this bike is on sale for. Like you can't beat it. I honestly, for most people, unless you really want to go hardcore mountain bike riding or something like that, like just to cruise and go to the brewery, like this thing's gonna be next to impossible to tip over. and this is like the perfect brewery bike, and I'm not even joking. A couple of other funky things about any trike is that, you know, you can't, in this one, I don't believe you can go in reverse. Can I go in reverse? Can you do the stop? Nope. See, this one, you go backwards and it just keeps spinning just like it does a normal bike. Another interesting thing is that there is no reverse on this bike. There is a lock on the brake though, so you can go hit the lock on the brake and it will work, or it will just brake the whole bike because it actually has obviously 3 wheels. The motor is up in the front, so it is on the rad trike as well, and it also has these kind of old school caliper brakes here. You know, one thing always to look out for in any e-bike, doesn't matter if it's trike or not, is other drivers, because they are not going to be looking out for you, expecting you to be able to go that fast. All right, go here. We're riding along in my automobile. It's not actually an automobile, but that's okay. Get beside me at the wheel. But it took me just a couple minutes here to get to the grocery store. I just want to go pick up a couple of things and not have to worry about, you know, do I have enough cargo space or whatever. It's got this nice big rack that comes standard with it, but it's a little local grocery store here. And this is like the perfect bike for gonna go take a little ride. It's also the perfect bike to go to the park, go hang out with the kids. There's some people that have modified these and put kid seats in the back. It's pretty cool. This actually does have a full. So let's see here. What does it say? My full, yeah. Does have a funny little horn here. Has a light at the front. You can push the light button there. The horn's kind of funny. I like it. But if you just want to go for like a leisurely little ride, like, come on, what else do you want? This is perfect. And like, it's beautiful. I'm not having to pedal too hard. Not have to go too fast. It's pretty sweet, actually. I dig it. Let's do a quick little speed test here. How I've done this in the past, I've pulled it up on my phone to see exactly how fast I'm going, and then we'll put it on the screen here. So let's do this, and then we'll go, let's just see how fast I'm going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 11. 13. About 13 miles an hour is what I topped that out. That's not too bad whatsoever. Honestly, that's not bad at all. On the rad trike, I only got it up, I think, to about 16. Whoa. Sorry for the jiggly. About 16 miles an hour. So this is not going to be a Tesla. And you don't want it to be a Tesla because it's a trike. It's for grandma. Or for my wife, who hates riding bikes, which is ironic, isn't it? It's a pretty cool, awesome day here in Colorado. Woo, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's maybe turn just a slight bit here. All right, as I mentioned, it's a beautiful day here in Colorado. And I'm taking it easy. I'm not going 40 miles an hour on an electric scooter like I have with some other reviews. I decided to take this for a nice little stroll to the park. It's super easy to ride. It's nearly impossible to tip over. Let me walk you through a couple of the features and I'll tell you a little bit more about what I think and then give you my final verdict, okay? So the bike comes exactly as is, except for this is my recording equipment. This is the bag that I use to put my recording equipment in. But it does come with this nice rack on the back. Comes with the battery here. You may say, well, how do I get the battery out? Boo! Pretty sweet. But it is no frills, and that is by design. In fact, there's no controls except for, there's not even a power button. You have to turn the key to turn the bike on, right? Yep. Turn on. It gives you a full, a medium, and an empty notification for your bike. What's funny is there's also just as many notifications on the bike itself when it's not plugged in. You have to plug in the little cord right there. Not a big deal. Does have a light button, a horn, and throttle with this little indicator on it. And that is it. That's it. I just checked, this bike is like 850 bucks. And like, if you just wanted a fun little bike to take around town, go to the breweries, this is not a bad bike at all. So let me tell you about a couple of things that I didn't care for. Besides the assembly, which was, honestly, it was not easy. I recommend you spend, the $100 or so and have someone come and install it yourself, because I've installed and put together, I don't know, 50 or so e-bikes, and I had to take off a chain on here to get it on. I mean, there's things on here I'd never had to do before. And it's just tricky enough to where, if you're super handy, you probably could figure it out. But if you're like most people, it's a little bit difficult. That's also how they save on the prices, because the Rad Trike was a lot easier to put together, but it's more expensive. It's like 3 times more expensive. So it does have these caliper front brakes, which are not ideal, but they actually work really well. It does have some rear brakes, which work okay. The mechanic that did work on my bike said, you know what, I don't know how well those are gonna work, and can kind of tune them up. You have to do some funky things like putting on these fenders, which is a giant pain in the butt, just to be honest with you. Riding position is nice and comfortable. This is adjustable up and down. Like I said, it's got this nice big bright light on it. And that's pretty much it. So what do I think? Who's this bike for and who's it not for? Keep watching. All right, so who is this e-bike best for? Well, it's an E-Trike, first of all, but this is probably best for someone that doesn't like electric bikes, like my wife. She's gonna take either this one or the Rad Trike. We love the way this looks, it's beautiful. Comes in a couple different colors, and I'll put that up here. It's easy to ride once you get it put together. There's no confusing controls, and it's nearly impossible to tip as you're riding, which is very important, especially for my wife, who has tipped now 2 electric bikes. And I think she's had a kid on it one time, but still, you don't want to tip a bike. It makes you very scared of it. Stinks. Who is this bike not for? This bike is not for someone that wants to go real fast. I mean, you saw I got going like 12, 13 miles an hour. Not a problem. You just want to go for a nice little leisurely stroll in the park. But it is a problem if you do want to go faster. You want to go off-roading. There's no suspension. There's none of that here. It's not going to be the highest end ride that you've ever experienced, but it's pretty on par with the Rad Trike if you look at it from just a straight, how does it handle, how does it ride perspective. It has a little bit more bells and whistles on the Rad Trike, like the computer and stuff like that, but other than that, it's very similar in the way that it rides. It does have a lower payload capacity. I'll put the exact specs on here, but it's like 285 pounds. It does have a lower range of, I believe it's about 22 miles. I'll put the exact specs on here too. But that also is because of the lower powered motor, but it's also lighter as a result. So can't really complain about any one of those things in particular. I wish they would come out with the Rad Trike or any kind of trike that had the hydraulic disc brakes. This one has the caliper, the other one had the mechanical. But not a deal killer by any stretch of the imagination. For 850 bucks, you'd be really hard pressed to find anything that's cheaper, honestly. It's a good value overall. And if you got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Put them down below, and I'll do a full comparison of both this bike and the Rad Trike here shortly. But hope to see you again real soon.